the immediate wake of the 2021 coup was full of a repertoire of like non-violent resistance tactics, and this like the youth movement kind of wielding that. What were some of those tactics, and then what compelled the escalation to violence, or moving to the mountains, I guess?
You know, people were out on the streets, the coordinated beating of cooking pots at 8 o'clock every night, and like the use of the three-fingered salute of the Hunger Games. They strung those sarongs up across the city as a way to prevent the military from attacking young protesters, and that is about the belief that men shouldn't walk underneath the sarongs of women because they're seen as dirty, and they it seemed to take away from the power or pone of a man. You know, they created these alliances as well with other anti-authoritarian movements, particularly what's referred to as the milk tea alliance, which is people who drink bubble tea. So against with Taiwan and Hong Kong and Thailand. This also included really creative strikes like the labor strikes we've already talked about, but also silent strikes. They also have collective car breakdown strikes. So taxis were just like collectively breaking down. And again, this was all to sort of thwart the military from being able to like access the protesters. They had cursing ritual ceremonies led by spirit masters. A lot of the signs from protesters were really witty and funny, I guess mocking the Myanmar military leaders. There was images of the senior general Min Aung Hlaing put on the street, and people were walking over his face, because again that's seen to sort of diminish his power. But it really radically changed because of the military's use of violence, starting to use live rounds into these sort of peaceful protests. And that's when we saw young people really arming themselves, building these sort of handmade barricades. And then gradually we saw a huge collection of people moving to rural areas, joining ethnic armed organisations to train, and I guess creating these people's defence movement forces against the military.
The mode of resistance obviously had to shift in the face of actual violence.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think it's important to just remember that, right? Like, I'm not someone that is a proponent of violence, but I think like the military really forced people's hands. Like all the young people I've spoken to, even those that are part of People's Defence Forces, they don't want to be, part of an armed resistance movement. They want their old lives back. They want to just be living the lives of, typical 18 to 25-year-olds.
Soldiers' lives suck, man.
Yeah, it really does suck.